You're right. Fuck the Titans.
I couldn't agree more. This is the part 2 of my Titans Season 3 review. Here's the last video, go check that out if you want anything to make sense. But in case you didn't watch it, here's a quick recap.
Red Hood. Red Hood.
Red Hood.
Red Hood.
Red Hood.
Red Hood.
Red Hood.
Red Hood.
Red Hood.
Red Hood.
Now that we're all up to speed, let's talk a little. You see, I was convinced that Titans was one of the worst superhero shows of all time, but it turns out I was actually completely wrong, as this commenter here points out. I hope one day idiots will actually learn something about the topic they're discussing instead of throwing out brain-dead content. Nothing you've said is true at all, clown. Titans is an incredible show that does an amazing job of adapting the Titans in the modern day. All you do is whine and bitch and moan over things you know nothing about. Probably one of those idiots who also cried over Starfire being black too. Well, you heard it here first, folks. Everything I said in my video, every single thing, was a total lie. Complete lie, not real. Which is kind of weird, considering that video is mostly just me describing the plot of Titans, so I guess I made up the whole show, too? Honestly, I wish I made this whole thing up, because watching this is going to turn me into an atheist in hell because of how terrible it is. I refuse to believe any sort of kind and loving God would allow writing this terrible to exist in their universe. And if this is what adapting a show to the modern day looks like, then take me back to the Jurassic period, because I would rather get eaten by a dinosaur than have to put up with shows like this anymore. See, this is what I mean when I say I don't understand Titans fans. They're willing to fight tooth and nails to defend the honor of this show when it's so remarkably terrible that it's just apparent. Literally, me describing the plot sounds like I'm insulting it because of how poorly written it is. And if you thought the first half of this show was bad, like I pointed out, you have no idea, because episodes 8 and up are so astronomically terrible that they make the first half look incredible. But then again, what do I know? Everything I say is a lie, so why don't we just look at the rest of Titans and see how incredible and amazing it is. So I guess this is the part where I say, hello everybody, you're watching Dead Topics, the show where we talk about whatever we want, whenever we want, for as long as we want. I'm your host, Dave. And Red Hood.
Red Hood. Red Hood. Red Hood.
So, Scarecrow's first plan to try and poison the entire city failed in spectacular fashion, because he's a complete idiot. Jason, also being an idiot, tracks him down again and is like, hey, this plan kind of sucks, why are you doing this? But Scarecrow isn't worried, because he's got a new plan. A brand new plan that's going to knock the entire city dead. He's going to try and drill through a massive steel plate to get into Gotham's water supply so that he can dump a ton of toxic chemicals into it and cause the entire city to go insane and destroy itself, because he's crazy, I guess. Even Jason realizes how fucking stupid this plan is, so he leaves and he wants to try and rejoin the Titans, leaving one insane murderer for a group of insane murderers. But before this, the Titans need to track Jason down, so Barbara decides to use the facial recognition software that's throughout the entire city and pause. What? So the GCPD is connected to all the cameras in the whole city that have access to facial recognition software, which is able to instantly identify Jason and find where he is. Excuse me? So they had facial recognition software in the cameras this whole time and just never used it for the entire fucking season? So Scarecrow, Jason, all of Scarecrow's goons have miraculously been able to avoid every single camera in the entirety of the city and stop their face from getting picked up on cameras. Even though Jason literally goes out without his mask all the time on different parts of the city and somehow just doesn't get noticed. I guess because he has a little hoodie over his head, even though his face is entirely exposed. The facial recognition software is going to become a major plot hole going forward, considering that there are tons of times where the GCPD wants to find people and their faces are just out in the open, probably in front of a bunch of cameras, yet they don't get picked up for some reason. And believe it or not, it gets dumber, because Jason invites Nightwing to these secret Wayne tunnels, and Nightwing's excuse as to why they can't bring Superboy to instantly knock him out is because the Wayne tunnels have security, and he'll be able to see him coming through the cameras. So Jason just has some super ninja technique that allows him to become undetectable from every single camera throughout the entire city. Nightwing is more skilled than Jason and has the exact same training, yet Nightwing can't get around cameras? Again, these characters' skills are determined on a plot basis. The second one of their powers or abilities becomes inconvenient for the story, it suddenly stops working. It's like in a video game where you go to a zone that doesn't allow you to fast travel or teleport. Like, their skills literally get disabled in certain areas because it wouldn't be convenient for the story. Sorry, Jason, you're entering into a story area, so we're gonna have to take away your warp drive privileges. You can't stealth teleport anymore. At least with Jason, he has the super stealth excuse, but how does Scarecrow get around to every single camera in the entire city when he's traveling? His face is always out, and he's super noticeable. I guess he must have also been hacked into the GCPD's camera system the entire time because Barbara didn't learn her lesson from Oracle. I'm sure if Scarecrow has broken into the GCPD camera system, he's going to use that to his advantage and... we'll get to it. So Red Hood essentially tells Nightwing that he wants to rejoin the team and become a Titan again, and Nightwing, knowing that stealing and killing is not the Titan's way, says, "Hell yeah!" Honestly, I don't even see how this is a dilemma at all. I mean, the Titans have killed so many people, and Superboy just straight up murdered at least 2 cops in broad daylight, so... the Titans really shouldn't care that Jason killed Hank? If anything, good. I'm sure Hank is hawking in hell right now. Foreshadowing. So Nightwing comes back to the team and they decide to discuss whether or not they should let Jason off the hook.
Killed Hank.
He kidnapped kids. He made that woman snap her own neck.
So we're just gonna set an extra place at the dinner table? Oh, hey, Jay, pass the mashed potatoes.
He's offering to turn himself in and bring in Crane.
This is bullshit. You're forgiving a murderer.
Do I have to play the montage again? Do I have to play the montage again? All right. Fuck it. We're playing the montage again. No way! No way! 1, Stupid Fire, you're a fucking idiot. 2, the Titans are all hypocrites who kill people all the time, but when other people commit murders, they're the bad guys now. But she doesn't even stop there. She keeps going off like she didn't just fucking kill someone this season. Oh my god, how stupid are these writers?
Hey. I can't believe you. Bruce said be a better Batman. There are 2 versions of that. One kills, one doesn't.
Okay, let's get out of this stupid scene before I hawk. Anyway, the hypocrite squad, the Titans, are gonna go after Jason, but he's actually been working with Scarecrow again, because why would you work with anyone else? God, Jesus Christ, Jason's so stupid. He's so stupid. But this is where we have to take an aside to talk about another character who's been in the show this entire time. I didn't mention them because they were basically irrelevant up until now. But the character I'm referring to is Tim Drake. Yes, Tim Drake is here, and he's kind of lame. Tim has been so irrelevant up until now that I've neglected to even mention him because I didn't see the point. But basically, he's a massive Titans fanboy who managed to figure out that Nightwing was actually Dick Grayson. Oh wow, who could have pieced that together? What an amazing mystery. You would think if he was doing all this research into the Titans, he would find, that cell phone footage that was definitely uploaded of Superboy murdering, 2 police officers in broad daylight, but whatever. So Tim has been stalking Nightwing around and he wants to be a Titan, which, of course, who wouldn't want to be a Titan, right? But Nightwing rejects him, so Tim has to take things into his own hands. He goes after Red Hood on his own and ends up getting shot. Yeah, Scarecrow just kind of shoots him, and he falls on the ground, and he dies. The Titans show up a little too late to save Tim, but Superboy's there, Jason's there, Scarecrow's there. So Superboy, using his super speed, is going to run up and instantly knock both of them out, and show ends right there, right? Right? No, of course not. Superboy just sits around doing fucking nothing, even though he has super speed and could easily get rid of both of them right now. Seriously, this plot could have ended like 7 times already if Superboy just had a brain. And don't even give me the excuse that he's tending to the body. He's not doing anything over there. With his super speed, he could knock both Jason and Scarecrow out before anybody could blink and then run that body to the hospital. But he doesn't do that because the plot needs to happen, so they just act like idiots and then end up falling right into Scarecrow's trap. For you see, the plan the entire time was to trick Stupid Fire into shooting out a fire blast which was going to melt straight through the steel that was protecting the water supply so that Scarecrow could stick stuff in the water supply and then, like, poison the entire city. And it works because the Titans are stupid. So now a massive chunk of the city has been fed this poisoned water and is becoming cuckoo crazy. Honestly, with how dumb everybody in Gotham is, I'm surprised there wasn't something in the water already. You cannot convince me that the Titans and everybody in this city weren't just slurping up stupid juice every morning. Okay, so the plot so far has been stupid, but that's pretty usual for Titans. I'm sure nothing absolutely insane is going to happen that's going to cause the story to plunge into pits of insanity that it'll never recover from, right? Right? It can't get dumber than before, right? So anyway, Tim Drake is now in hell on a hell train to the underworld, and he's gonna find Wonder Girl, who's also in the hell train because she's also dead, and they run out and they find a bunch of ghouls who are trying to drain their souls, and then Hank comes back because he's also dead, and he's in a hell car, and they drive to a hell bar where they have drinks and talk about how they're in hell, and what is going on? What the fuck? Episode 8 was more of the build-up to the Insano Zone, but Episode 9 and onward is pure insanity through and through. The story goes completely off the rails and starts making no goddamn sense. Not that it made sense before, I guess, but it's just even worse now. Episode 9 is just... it's fucking crazy, guys. That's the only way I can put it. We've stopped this plot with Jason and Scarecrow entirely so that we can delve into the underworld and how that works and how souls go to hell and get absorbed by ghouls, and it makes no sense. Maybe there's some DC comic about a ghost train that explains how all this shit works, but if you have to go read that comic to understand this show, you might as well just skip the show and stick to the comic instead. It probably makes more sense. So a bunch of the dead Titans are now in hell together, and Tim just happens to find them, even though, like, hundreds of thousands of people die every day, I'm pretty sure, and Wonder Girl has been dead for, like, months now, so the fact that they were so close together on the same train is fucking miraculous. I guess maybe only certain people get the hell train experience, other people just end up in, I don't even know where, the Void? Another season of Titans? Who knows? I know for damn sure I didn't get a train ride when I died, all I got was another season of Velma. I'm glad that only exists in hell. There's no way that actually exists in the real world, right? Why are you guys looking at me like that? But that's not the only insane thing that's happening right now, because it's time for us to finally reconnect with Raven. Yes, the writers have been finding more and more creative ways to write her out of the story entirely, and she's finally back. Raven in this Teen Titans show has just been missing for, like, the majority of the 3rd season, and finally shows up again, and it turns out she's on Themyscira with a bunch of Themysciran warriors, and she's becoming a super ninja because I guess she wasn't overpowered enough already. So they've been performing a ritual to try and bring Wonder Girl back to life because death in this universe is more relevant than death in Dragon Ball. Raven sneaks into the ritual area to try and resurrect Wonder Girl, but it doesn't quite work. And assumedly it's because Wonder Girl's soul right now is in a car talking to Hank, and they're making jokes and they're driving to a bar after fighting ghouls. Yes, they're actually called ghouls. There are hell ghouls, which try to absorb your soul if you get off the hell train, so I guess, why can't they just go on the hell train? So both Wonder Girl and Hank get to talking. Hank talks about how he hawked too hard and exploded, and Wonder Girl talks about how stupid her death was. I have a sneaking suspicion that Wonder Girl's death in the last season was so pathetic and stupid, the writers tried to find a way to bring her back as an apology because of how horrid that writing was. Wonder Girl's inclusion in this season is basically the writers getting on their hands and knees and begging for forgiveness for how fucking stupid that last season was. In fact, her death is so dumb, even the show recognizes how dumb it was. Like, listen to this dialogue.
You think I'm happy about how I went out? I didn't save the planet from some asteroid. I died at a carnival, Hank. a carnival.
But when you put it like that,
I spent a lot of time struggling with it, agonizing over it, trying to make some sense of it. You know what I realized? It doesn't make sense.
What a perfect way to describe this show. No matter how much you think about it, no matter how much you try to make sense of it, it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. It's all nonsense. It's fucking stupid. I cannot stress enough, even their own characters realize how dumb Wonder Girl's death was and how astronomically disappointing it is. Seriously, can you imagine going out like that, failing to just move one woman and a girl out of the way of a girder while Superboy just sits in the corner doing absolutely nothing while you just die? This Themysciran half-god warrior gets taken out by a little bit of electricity, and while they're in hell, they just realize, hey, that was stupid. Like, who wrote that? That doesn't make any sense. Was this a rogue writer just pointing out how terrible the last season was? It probably isn't, but I wish it was. But Wonder Girl is going to get a second chance to prove herself because Hank has found a way out of the afterlife. Yes, after all of human history, millions of years going by, eons, and like hundreds, millions, billions of people dying, Hank, after dying and being dead for like maybe a couple of weeks, has found the way out of the afterlife. This dumbass, who dresses up in a hawk costume, has found the way to escape hell itself, which apparently nobody in all of human history has discovered before. Right. It turns out all you need to do to escape the afterlife is find this weird bridge and cross it. So yes, getting back from hell itself is as easy as walking across a bridge. I wish. And when they get on the bridge, it immediately starts collapsing, so that says to me that nobody has actually used this bridge before. So it's not like somebody came back to life and just never talked about it. No, they are the first people to ever get on this bridge in all of human history. After hundreds of thousands, millions, billions of people dying, they are the first people to ever find and try and cross this bridge. And the ghouls can also just show up there. Why don't the ghouls, like, leave the afterlife and go into the real... whatever. It also turns out that in hell, you can just summon objects from thin air, because why not? So Hank has, like, hell guns and hell swords. This is so fucking stupid. Meanwhile, back in the other hell, that being, Titan Season 3, Raven is getting punished for trying to resurrect Wonder Girl, and the punishment is being forced to rebuild this stone, statue over and over and over and over again, and failing miserably. At the end, she is taught the lesson that she can't bring Wonder Girl back and she's probably dead forever and she can't really do anything about it. And she cries, and that's the lesson that she supposedly learned. So the writers took the time to have her spend this entire episode learning a lesson about the finality of death, and then Wonder Girl just comes back to life anyway. And also there are more resurrections this season, so that lesson was entirely wrong and completely pointless. Why the fuck would you bother having Raven learn the lesson that some things just can't be rebuilt and some people are dead forever if that's just not fucking true and the lesson's invalidated immediately? You're just wasting our time. But it turns out that once Wonder Girl comes back to life, she finds another person on Themyscira, someone who's not supposed to be there. She finds Bruce Wayne. This entire time, Bruce Wayne has fucked off to Themyscira and has just been chilling in a building. And he's actually been writing up his will. Once that's done, Bruce lights his building on fire and tries to end himself. He tries to commit die in Minecraft, YouTube. In Minecraft. So the Batman, the man who has dedicated his entire life to fighting crime after the death of his parents, spent decades training with top-tier ninjas and assassins, fought dozens of supervillains who have manipulated his greatest fears like Scarecrow and also the Penguin and tons of powerful criminals. He has put his life on the line day in and day out, and he has finally decided just to end it all. Like, just end himself and give up like a pathetic loser. How does this even happen? Does DC just, have a room where they just, get in a bunch of people and try and find who hates Batman the most and just pick them to be the writers of these shows? Good God, the writing for Batman in this is so ridiculous and horrid that it's pathetic. If these writers truly hate Batman so much, stop fucking writing him. Just go write about an actual fucking character you care about and stop ruining things people actually want. This is actually starting to make me mad. Good God, why do they let these people write a script? But Wonder Girl saves him, so it's all fine. Who cares? Let's just move on. If you're a fan of Batman, you're better off just pretending he doesn't exist in this show. Pretend that's just some random old guy you don't know. Anyway, Wonder Girl's resurrected, Tim Drake's resurrected, but Hawk gets left behind because, like, fuck Hawk. That does make me wonder, though. His entire body was blown up and turned to ash, so if he actually came back to life, what would happen? Would a new body just spontaneously appear in thin air? Because Tim, like, woke up in his own body in the hospital, which was getting operated on. So that makes kind of sense how he survived, but if you're put in your old body, wouldn't Hawk just immediately be dead again since he's ash? Like, that doesn't... How would he even come back to life? Let's not think about this too hard, because the writers clearly didn't. So, the entire city's water supply has been poisoned by Scarecrow. Oh no, everybody's going crazy. But that's not the end of Scarecrow's master plan. He has another scheme. Scarecrow, using his iMovie skills, makes a little, like, movie trailer for Red Hood and paints the Titans as the bad guys and tricks them into thinking the Titans poisoned the city, which they technically did, and that the Titans are actually evil. Show, you can't be this stupid. You just can't. Of course, the Titans, the people who have committed murders, assaults, robberies, attacking police officers, killing police officers in broad daylight on camera, committing what are essentially terrorist attacks, failing to save the city over and over and over again, are definitely beloved by the people and need to be convinced that they're evil. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. The people should already hate the Titans. Scarecrow doesn't need to make shit up. He has plenty of good reasons that the people of Gotham should hate the Titans. He could just release the footage of, like, Superboy melting through all those cars and killing those cops, even though that footage should already be national fucking news. Writers, you can't do this, alright? You can't have the Titans' reputation falling off be a major plot point all of a sudden when their reputation should already be in the shitter. Seriously, the Titans should be enemy number one already from day one, but instead Scarecrow has to trick the city and they act like, oh, the city is being tricked into hating us even though we're the good, awesome guys. So Gotham is turning on the Titans and some of the citizens have drank the evil Scarecrow Kool-Aid and are turning into feral zombie monsters. Superboy could very easily just run up and knock all of them out, but no, we have to have a prolonged fight scene, so I guess he just forgets he has super speed again. But hey, at least we can learn he can knock out normal humans with just a poke, which once again makes the villains look so goddamn underpowered. But he's not the only one who forgot that he had super speed. Wonder Girl seems to have forgotten she has super speed too, because instead of running up at high speed trying to get to the city as soon as possible while it's actively melting down and people are dying, she's just walking, having a casual stroll. Yeah, Wonder Girl, time is not of the essence or anything. Just let all those innocent people die while you walk, even though you can run at super speed. I would call her stupid for this, but she's not as stupid as Nightwing, whose master plan is to turn himself in and all the Titans to the police. What a genius. But little does Nightwing know, every single police officer in the entirety of the GCPD except for Barbara has been paid off by Scarecrow, which is really dumb, but we'll get into that later. So when the Titans show up to be arrested, the cops are gonna take them in for real this time and put them behind bars. So what is the police master plan to take down a bunch of superhumans? Superboy, Starfire, Beast Boy, and so on. Well, their plan is to, and I quote, move in. They move in with clubs and shields against Superboy, the guy who can blow up cars by staring at them and is practically indestructible.
If stupidity were a superpower, you would be goddamn Superman.
So you guys know what time it is. A masked police beatdown scene. Okay, technically these cops are gone rogue and working for Scarecrow, so should I really put them on the beats up cops counter? Why not?
Right, my tit!
I was already getting the vibe that this show just fucking hated police officers, but the ending of this season cements it. They couldn't hold it back anymore. They felt the need to have a massive police smash-down brawl. I was gonna save talking about the GCPD in the end of this season for later on, but why don't we just get it out of the way now? So every single member of the GCPD, all of them, with the exception of Barbara and this one lady, have turned evil. Yes, that's right. Scarecrow threw some money at them, and they have now decided to bomb the entire city. Scarecrow's plan is to plant a bunch of explosives around the city and blow them up, killing everybody in the whole city, just pretty much dropping them to the ground dead. And the cops know this. They know that's his plan. They help him set it up. So, let me just get this straight. This means that every single member of the GCPD have all decided to kill everyone in the city that they have family and friends in? Are you serious? They've all turned into terrorists and are now going against the entire government and killing their entire city, friends and family included, because Scarecrow gave them some money. Right. Look, police corruption is not uncommon in superhero stories, especially Batman stories, but it's usually not like this at all. This is not police corruption. This is insanity. There's a big difference between corrupt cops getting rid of evidence, or looking the other way to certain mob bosses' crimes, and them actively trying to kill literally millions of people. I just want to make it clear, Barbara Gordon is the police commissioner. She's the head, and she's also responsible for rebuilding the entire police agency after this all happens. So she pretty much controls who gets hired and who stays. Barbara was such a terrible boss, all of her hired employees, co-workers, and friends decided to instantly turn against her and try to destroy the city. So their background checks are so bad, they let in a bunch of psychopathic terrorists who were perfectly ready and willing to destroy the entire city at a moment's notice. What does that say about Barbara? Seriously, all of her friends are faker than a Mr. Beast video, and she definitely does not deserve the position as commissioner if this is the kind of result she gets. It's a wonder she wasn't fired years ago. And the police haven't been drinking the crazy water because that pretty much turns you into a zombie, and Scarecrow doesn't have mind control powers, so how the hell did he convince the entire GCPD just to do this? He's clearly a lunatic, and he's not very charismatic either, so I have no idea why the police decided for a few measly dollars to side with a terrorist who is going to kill everybody. What's the point of money if the whole city is destroyed and all of you are banned terrorists? It's not like you're going to sneak out of the city either, because the military has put a blockade around the entirety of Gotham and they know the GCPD has turned evil, so like, what were they planning on doing after all of this? The entire police force on a moment's notice turning into mass terrorists who are going to destroy the entire city and then go against the government, I guess, makes no goddamn sense. Also, once again, I have to keep saying it, Justice League, they exist, nowhere to be found. Gotham is just dying and the police have taken it over and the Justice League just decide, fuck it, who cares? Also, I'd like to point out the Titans have been working with the police this whole time, so they've been working with psycho-terrorists who want to kill the entire city as well, by implication. Man, they're really good judges of character, aren't they? So Nightwing and the gang get split up and have to go into hiding. Now, of course, since Scarecrow now has access to all the GCPD and their cameras, he's going to use the facial recognition software to instantly find all the Titans with their faces out. No, he's not going to do that? Well, it was a thought. Well, at the very least, he knows all their secret identities, so he's going to release them to the public so that the public hates Bruce Wayne and also Nightwing. Wait, what? He's not going to release their secret identities? Why? He literally knows and has the proof that Dick Grayson is Nightwing and could release that information to the public and make his life infinitely more difficult. But he just doesn't. Out of kindness? Like, seriously, what the hell is happening? Give me one good reason why Scarecrow wouldn't want to release Dick Grayson's identity to the public that he's trying to get to turn against Dick Grayson. He could also leak the fact that Dick Grayson assaulted a bunch of police officers and was arrested and put in a federal prison and the Titans broke him out. That might cause the public to turn against him even further, won't you think? But no, that doesn't happen. Also, Nightwing doesn't go back to Wayne Manor because he knows Scarecrow knows about Wayne Manor and all the cops are there. So why would Scarecrow go to Wayne Manor and reveal to the cops that Bruce Wayne is Batman and not reveal that to the public? If your main plan is to turn all the public against superheroes and ruin their reputation, why would you not release their secret identities, you moron? So, regardless, the Titans are all split up into different groups. Nightwing is with Superboy, and Nightwing and Superboy's pairing is so fucking stupid. If you thought Nightwing was an idiot before, Oh, let me tell you, his brain has not only turned to mush, it's been replaced with a rock. The plot here needs him to be a literal baboon brain. He has no intelligence here, because if he did, the plot would end. Let me just lay out the facts for you. 1, Superboy's indestructible. 2, the cops don't have kryptonite. 3, that's all you need to know. Superboy could solo this whole situation. He could run his ass to Wayne Manor, instantly knock out every single police officer there, knock out Scarecrow, and then win. Seriously, what are the cops gonna do? Shoot at him? Does nothing. Hit him with sticks? Does nothing. Tase him? Does nothing. He is practically a god, and they cannot stop him in any way, shape, or form. But for no reason at all, Nightwing wants him to stay in hiding. Hiding from what? The useless police officers who can't even hope to hurt him? But it gets dumber. You see, Jason challenges Nightwing, and Nightwing wants to backdoor into the Wayne Manor security system for no reason at all, because what security system is going to stop Superboy? But Jason was prepared for this, and he has a little message for Nightwing. A message in which he says, and I quote, "All your base are belong to us." You know, Titans, I don't really think you should be referencing janky dialogue, considering this is the same show that has lines like, "Welcome to Crane Manor," and "If you're gonna dove, I'm gonna hawk." So I don't think you have room to make fun of anybody's dialogue here, pal. So Nightwing, finally having the location where Jason is going to call in Superboy and have Superboy instantly knock Jason out and end the fight right away, right? No, of course not. No, he doesn't. You see, what he actually does is finds a safe that has kryptonite in it, and he uses it to knock out Superboy. You could... excuse me, Titans writers? So, this means this entire fucking time, Scarecrow and Red Hood both had access to kryptonite. They could have found kryptonite, which is apparently hidden inside of these safes that Jason exactly knows about, and they just didn't use it for the entire fucking season and never use any of it ever again. What the actual hell is wrong with these writers? Are they high? Are they stupid? Was this written by a corpse? Because there is no way a person with an actual functioning brain thought this through. They had kryptonite this whole time. They could have given those cops kryptonite earlier when they ambushed the Titans to actually knock Superboy out and stand a chance, but instead they gave the cops nothing and had them try to fight Superboy with sticks. It makes no sense. Scarecrow is a dumbass. Why would he not use the kryptonite he 100% has access to? He literally has access to all of Batman's files and Jason, who knows where all this stuff is. And yet he just has no countermeasure for Superboy this entire time and just doesn't use anything on him at all. Think about that for a second. The writers were backed into such a corner, they had to have Nightwing, the hero, knock out Superboy because they couldn't let the villains do it, because I guess that would make the villains too intelligent. And Nightwing knocking him out makes no goddamn sense. Alright, even if you want to be generous and say that Nightwing knocked him out because he wanted to kill Jason here and didn't want Superboy to be there for that, he didn't have to knock out Superboy then. He could have had Superboy poke Jason once to knock him unconscious and then knock Superboy out and do it. So this is like the third time Nightwing has gone after Jason alone. They're basically recycling fights at this point. We already had an arc where Nightwing decided to go after Jason solo and it failed miserably, so why didn't he learn anything from that? You can't have character development if the characters don't ever actually, develop. And it's not like they were trying to teach Nightwing an important lesson about teamwork here or something, because later on Superboy says he had no choice and he was just doing what he had to, even when he absolutely wasn't. I just want to make it clear, Starfire had a whole speech about Jason going off on his own and fighting without a team, and that's why he died. So when Jason does it, it's bad. But Nightwing can do it all day long, and he's just fine, I guess. Well, Nightwing starts beating Jason down because obviously, but then a whole crowd of people shows up and one of them pulls out a gun. So Nightwing turns his back on the active shooter and gets shot in the back of the neck, falls on the ground, and dies. Trained by the world's greatest fighter, everyone. He can dodge bullets, light beams, and disarmed trained military goons, but he can't deal with one random civilian? Wow. But don't worry, Beast Boy and Raven show up to save the day, and Beast Boy finally transforms into something that isn't a tiger. And it's... oh my, what is that?
Is that a poop rat? Is that a
poop rat?
Ew. Yeah, this is the level of CGI we're working with here, folks. That'll be haunting your nightmares for a while. So Beast Boy turns into a bat, and all these bats begin to airlift Nightwing, and it looks so stupid. He just gets airlifted through the city by this army of bats and taken to a Lazarus pit. The same Lazarus pit that resurrected Jason, go figure. While he's in there, he begins hallucinating about how much he hates Jason, and an evil version of Scarecrow shows up like a hallucination to tell him, oh, you hate Jason so much, you wanted Jason dead. And honestly, he's kind of making some good points. I think I agree with the hallucination here. The Titans all treated Jason horribly, and everything the hallucination says is absolutely true. They're terrible people. But he eventually breaks his way out of the Lazarus pit and comes back to life as like a zombie now, sort of. Oh boy, I hope that Lazarus pit doesn't have any lasting consequences on the human psyche or anything. That would be terrible. While this is all going down, Starfire is having her own side plot, and I'm really sick of talking about Starfire's B-plots throughout these seasons. They're so disconnected from everything, and none of them are interesting. I'm just gonna fast-track this one. So Blackfire ends up absorbing Starfire's power, and Starfire runs away. She has a bunch of dreams about some random lady, finds the random lady, and then saves her from getting shot, and activates her new secret powers. Blue! Yeah, she has blue now. Wow. They had the opportunity to give her some new and interesting powers, and they just went with the same thing, but blue. Once again, these writers' creativity knows no bounds. So it actually turns out this entire time, Starfire was not born with the fire powers. It was actually Blackfire who was born with the fire powers, and the parents took the fire powers from Blackfire and put them in Starfire, and now Starfire just is the queen while Blackfire... I don't care, story. I really don't. I know you're basically pounding us with a stick that says, be sympathetic to this character as hard as you possibly can, but I don't care about either of them. I don't have any sympathy for Blackfire, no matter how tragic you make her backstory. Throwing a tragic backstory in doesn't make a character likable. You have to actually make the character likable. And Blackfire and Starfire are not. Anyway, Blackfire and Superboy team up because Superboy just got knocked out and really doesn't care about the Titans anymore, and Blackfire is just quirky evil, I guess. They tracked down the scientist that imprisoned her, and they were basically just straight up going to murder this man.
Look, I understand you have some unresolved feelings, but if I could ask, very politely, that if maybe you could refrain from destroying government property.
Good point. It's not the stuff that's the problem.
It's the people.
Oh, please don't hurt me.
You didn't care when you were hurting me.
Wait! I have something you want.
Look at how sympathetic and heroic these characters are. I feel so bad for them. Seriously, they're lunatics. But regardless, they let the man go because he actually has access to Blackfire's ship. It's just been here the whole time. But Superboy rigs it to explode because he doesn't want Blackfire to leave for her home planet. And Blackfire just instantly forgives him, and then they just kind of move on. They go back to the Titans like nothing happened, and then the rest of the season commences. There you go, subplot over, I'm not talking about it anymore. Frankly, we have more important things to deal with, like beating up police officers. You see, Tim Drake and Wonder Girl have been in the city for a while now, and they're currently getting attacked by a bunch of cops, and Wonder Girl is struggling to defeat regular humans with guns, even though she has super speed and can throw motorcycles so hard they, like, smash into the ground, and I don't know, she's just kind of pathetic even when they try to make her cool. Raven shows up and instantly wins the fight for them because she's so overpowered everyone else might as well not even be here. I would add them to the beats up cops counter, but I think you get the point by now. During this time, Scarecrow has completely lost it. He has cuts all over his face. He's just a complete lunatic, although he doesn't look scary at all because his actor is so goofy and looks even dumber without his beard. Seriously, he looks like a Redditor. They made Scarecrow a Redditor. But Jason is somehow shocked the lunatic who constantly tries to poison the entire city is crazy and realizes he's been betrayed for like the 50th time. Jason, you're just so dumb. I cannot have any sympathy for you. I really tried. You know, I know what the Titans did to you was really bad, but nobody can fix your brain, buddy. That's broken for good. After this, Nightwing finds Jason and goes, Jason, I forgive you. Let's team up. And Jason is like, but I'm an evil psycho murderer. And Nightwing's like, yeah, join the club, pal. So they team up and start working to take down Scarecrow, even though really Superboy's all you need. Tim Drake joins the battle for some reason. I have no idea what this random kid with absolutely no training is going to do, but sure. Scarecrow has planted bombs across the city that are going to release toxic gas and kill everybody. So, in order to stop them, they have to find out where all the bombs are. But Nightwing realizes this plan is just falling right into his hands, so instead of playing his game, they decide to go after Scarecrow and take him down. So of course they're going to send Superboy into Wayne Manor to knock everybody out and take down Scarecrow and So their actual plan is to grab all the water from the Lazarus pit and turn it into a rainstorm so that it'll rain on everybody in the city, resurrecting them all. And all of this makes sense because, like, physics and stuff. Don't think about it too hard, you're going to blow your brain out. While literally all of the actual useful member of the Titans are doing that, you know, the ones with superpowers, the ones without superpowers and Beast Boy are going to fight the main villain and all of his goons, because I don't even know anymore. They immediately break in and take down all of Scarecrow's goons and go after the big man himself. He tries to detonate all the bombs and almost succeeds, but Barbara actually hacks in a fake screen for some reason that causes Scarecrow to become tricked, and he doesn't actually get to detonate the bombs. You see, they didn't need to make a fake screen at all. They could have just disabled the Bat computer and that would have been that. But they needed a shocking twist reveal and him almost succeeding, so they have Barbara make a fake screen for no reason. Don't think about the logic of why your stakes happen, just kind of force it for drama purposes. That'll totally have the story make sense. So Tim walks up to Scarecrow and just knocks him out in a single punch. This is our intimidating main villain, getting defeated by Tim, a random kid with no training, and a single attack. This is the same Scarecrow who had Jason running scared earlier, so I guess Jason is just completely pathetic. It's really hard to figure out who's dumber, the heroes or the villains. Maybe they're all equally stupid. The rest of the Titans throw up the big Lazarus pit bubble into the sky to make a giant storm. But oh no, the storm's making lightning. Luckily, Wonder Girl throws up her super whip to absorb all the electricity directly into her body, and she's completely fine afterwards. You can practically hear the writers screaming, "Please forgive us for last season, please, we're going to make it up to you, okay, she's a Super Saiyan now." So it rains Lazarus Pit juice and all the people in Gotham get resurrected. Hooray! Unless you were in the subway or, like, underground or in buildings when you died. I guess you're just dead for good, sorry. The random scientist from the side plot comes back and takes a selfie with everybody, even though they threatened to murder him and, like, burn his dick off multiple times. Right. And finally, once all the hard work is done, now Bruce Wayne comes back. Thanks for all your help doing absolutely nothing, Batman. Just please never come back to this show ever, thank you. He has a heart-to-heart with Jason later, but it's so uninteresting and I've lost all manner of care. Can you tell I'm running out of fucking energy with this dumb shit? Getting through these last episodes was a struggle. I had to force myself to sit through them because of just how terrible they are. It's draining my soul out of my body. It's so bad. And you want to know the worst part? The ending. At the end, Scarecrow is locked up in a cell, chained down to the ground because he's that crazy. And when he says he'll break out again, Raven decides to pump him full of the dark magic juice to make him go even more crazy. What? What did that accomplish? He was already insane. Unless they made him so crazy that he literally can't do anything ever again, at which point, why don't you just kill him? Oh, wait, of course. How could I forget?
Stealing and killing is not the Titans' way.
So that was Season 3 of Titans. So, Titans fans, are you blind, deaf, stupid? It's gotta be one of those things, because there's no way a human being can look at this season and say anything other than it was dog shit. I am beyond confused as to how any rational person can look at this season and say it has good writing. It is so bafflingly dumb. Especially what they do with Batman, that shit actually made me angry. The fact that this got 4 seasons is an insult to DC art and life itself. If you work in this industry, you should be fucking embarrassed that this exists within it. There are hundreds of shows with great potential that get canceled early on, or some people don't even get their shows made in the first place, yet Titans gets 4 seasons that get astronomically worse after each one. It's actually sad that this is the kind of superhero shows we're getting. And it's even sadder that it's not over yet because I have to do Titans Season 4. But then again, everything I say in this video, complete and total lie, as that other commenter pointed out. It was all fake, made it all up, not real. And if you doubt me, you can go ahead and sit through Season 3 yourself, because I'm never doing it again. But you want to know who's not stupid? My Patreon supporters. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Love you. And if you want to join the Patreon and get early access to videos, then be my guest. As for me, I have to go now. This has been Dave, and remember...
Red Hood, Red Hood, Red Hood, Red Hood, Red Hood!